You know, one of the most common questions I hear in my practice sounds something like this. Doctor, why do I feel like I'm falling apart? Why am I aging so fast? My energy is gone by noon. I can't remember simple words. A small injury takes forever to heal, and my brain feels wrapped in a thick fog I just can't shake. Most people blame their age when this happens. They blame bad genetics. They think, well, this is just what getting older feels like. But after years of practicing medicine, I want to tell you something that might shift your entire perspective. The real answer isn't in your birthday or your DNA. It's happening deep inside your bones, right now, inside your bone marrow. We've been taught to see stress as a mental health problem, something you fix with a vacation or a few deep breaths. But the science tells a much more serious story. Chronic stress is doing something to your body at the cellular level that most routine checkups completely miss. It is slowly taking apart the very system your body uses to repair itself. And here's where this gets truly fascinating. There's an ancient herb, one that's been used for over 3,000 years. That modern research now shows works directly on both sides of this problem at once. Stay with me, because what I'm about to walk you through may completely change how you see stress, how you see aging, and how you see your own ability to heal. Most of us grow up believing stress lives entirely in the mind, that if you just sleep a little better, scribble in a journal, or take a weekend off, your body simply bounces back. I understand why people believe that. It's what we're taught. But after nearly a decade in emergency medicine and preventive care, I've witnessed something that completely reshaped my understanding. Stress is not just an emotion, it is a measurable biological event, and it leaves behind real wreckage at the cellular level long after the stressful moment has passed. The molecule at the center of all this is cortisol. When cortisol stays elevated, even at moderate levels, it doesn't just make you feel anxious or wired. It physically suppresses the production and the activity of your stem cells, your body's own repair system. This is not a metaphor. This is documented. This is measurable. And most importantly, this is reversible. Hi, I'm Dr. Meilin. I'm an emergency medicine physician and an integrative health researcher. And I want to be transparent with you about something. Early in my career, I viewed traditional plant medicines the way most Western-trained doctors do, with polite but firm skepticism. If it wasn't in a large randomized control trial, I told myself it wasn't real medicine. Then I started reading the literature on Withania somnifera. Most people know it as ashwagandha, and what I found was not folk medicine. What I found was peer-reviewed, mechanism-specific, dose-measured science confirming that this root does things to human biology we are only now beginning to fully grasp. Specifically, it interacts with the exact same cellular systems I was watching break down. In my patients under chronic stress, the stem cell niche, the cortisol HPA axis, the inflammatory cascade that accelerates how we age, my perspective changed completely, and today I want to share what I discovered with you. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 things that most people, including most doctors, don't know about ashwagandha and your biology. First, exactly how elevated cortisol destroys your stem cell population and why this is the hidden driver behind accelerated aging. Second, the specific compound inside ashwagandha that directly activates neural stem cell growth, confirmed in laboratory settings. Third, 4 distinct biological mechanisms this root operates through simultaneously and why that matters for getting real results. Fourth, the exact research-backed protocol for taking it, which form, what dose, what time of day, and what to pair it with to amplify the effects. And fifth, the 3 mistakes that cause most people who try ashwagandha to see 0 results and exactly how to fix them. Let's get into it. And a quick note before we dive deeper. I get messages every week from people who've been watching these videos for months and have never hit subscribe. If that's you, please consider doing it now. It's completely free and it genuinely helps this community grow. You can also find me on Instagram for more health insights. And if you're wondering where to find the products mentioned in this video, I've made that easy. Everything is linked in the description below, so you don't have to go searching. Let's start with something most people have completely wrong about stem cells. When the average person hears the term stem cells, their mind goes to embryos or experimental therapies or something that only exists in a research lab. But you have billions of stem cells active inside your body right this moment. They live in your bone marrow, in your brain, in the lining of your gut, in your muscles, and throughout your blood vessels. Think of them as an elite repair battalion, specialized units stationed strategically throughout your body, waiting for the signal to move. When tissue gets damaged, when a blood vessel weakens, when a neuron starts to die, these cells get the call. They travel to the site, they rebuild, they restore function. This is not poetic language. This is your actual biology every single day. Now here's where cortisol enters the picture, and here's where things get serious. Cortisol is your body's primary stress hormone. In short bursts, a sudden threat, a physical challenge. Cortisol is actually protective. It sharpens your focus. It redirects blood to your muscles. It puts you in a state of readiness. That's exactly what it was designed for. But imagine this. Imagine that repair battalion has a commanding officer. And that commanding officer, when cortisol stays elevated for weeks, months, or years, starts issuing a very specific order to those stem cells: stand down, conserve resources, do not regenerate. That is essentially what chronic cortisol elevation does at the cellular level. Research from the National Institutes of Health has confirmed that glucocorticoids, the hormone family cortisol belongs to, directly suppress stem cell proliferation in the bone marrow. They suppress neural stem cell activity in the hippocampus, and they reduce the regenerative capacity of the cells lining your gut wall. Your repair battalion doesn't disappear entirely, but it stops responding. It stops mobilizing. It just waits. Meanwhile, every single day, your tissues accumulate small amounts of damage that never get repaired. The small leaks in the roof don't get fixed, and over the years, those small leaks become structural collapse. It shows up as cognitive decline, immune weakness, metabolic dysfunction, and accelerated physical aging. Here is what makes this truly important. This process is not inevitable. It is not locked in by your DNA. It is a biological response to a hormonal signal, which means changing. That signal changes the entire outcome. That is exactly where ashwagandha comes in. Ashwagandha, botanical name Withania somnifera, has been documented in Ayurvedic medical texts for more than 3,000 years. And for most of Western medicine's history, that was enough to dismiss it. But here's what's remarkable about the last 2 decades of research. Modern pharmacology didn't discover something new about this plant. It confirmed what traditional practitioners already knew and then explained the molecular mechanisms behind it. The root contains a class of naturally occurring steroidal lactones called withanolides, and when researchers started isolating these compounds and running them against human cell lines and animal models, something unexpected happened. The results weren't subtle. Withanolidae, the most researched of these compounds, showed direct neurogenic activity. It crossed the blood-brain barrier. It interacted with stem cell signaling pathways in the brain. And it did something that almost no pharmaceutical compound has been designed to do. It appeared to simultaneously suppress the very stress hormone that destroys stem cells while directly stimulating the growth of new ones. Both problems, one root. Now let's get precise about this direct neural stem cell activation via withanolidae in a study published in the British Journal of Pharmacology. Researchers found that withanolidae isolated from the ashwagandha root promoted the differentiation and proliferation of neural stem cells in the brain's hippocampal region. The hippocampus is your memory and learning center, and in people under chronic stress, it is one of the first areas to show measurable shrinkage. What withanolidae appears to do is essentially push the growth signal inside progenitor cells that normally remain dormant under stress conditions. This is not speculation. It was observed under direct laboratory conditions using cell culture models. This is measured in laboratory assays where you can directly watch stem cell colonies expand, not theoretical, measurable regeneration. Pathway to HPA axis suppression, turning off the cortisol flood. Your HPA axis, the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, is the command chain that produces cortisol. Under chronic stress, this system runs like a stuck accelerator. Your body keeps producing cortisol even when the original threat is long gone. Ashwagandha's withanolides appear to modulate the sensitivity of this axis. Specifically, they support the feedback loop that tells your body, cortisol levels are high enough, stop producing more. Multiple clinical trials have measured this effect using serum cortisol assays, direct blood measurements, not surveys about how stressed people felt, actual measured. Cortisol reduction in the bloodstream. When cortisol drops, the suppression signal to your stem cells is lifted. The battalion commander stops issuing the stand-down order. Repair systems resume. But most people don't realize this next connection. Testosterone and growth hormone are not just performance hormones. They are direct activators of satellite cells, the stem cells responsible for muscle tissue repair and growth. When cortisol stays high, testosterone drops. It's a biological trade-off. Your body in survival mode prioritizes stress response over anabolism, overbuilding and repairing. Research from multiple trials, including a study published in Fertility and Sterility involving 75 men with chronic stress, found that participants taking 300 milligrams of ashwagandha root extract daily showed a statistically significant increase in testosterone levels and a 167% improvement in sperm count over 90 days. Higher testosterone directly activates the muscle and bone stem cell populations that cortisol was suppressing. This is the anabolic restoration effect. Now, pathway for NFEFA-kappa B suppression, clearing the inflammatory fog around stem cells. Stem cells don't live in isolation. They live in a microenvironment called the stem cell niche, and the condition of that environment determines whether they activate or stay dormant. Chronic inflammation driven by a molecule called NF-kappa B creates a toxic microenvironment around stem cells. Picture it like a construction crew trying to rebuild a road during a wildfire. The fire doesn't destroy the crew, but it makes it impossible for them to work. Ashwagandha's compounds are documented NF-kappa B inhibitors. They suppress this inflammatory signal, clearing the microenvironment so stem cells can actually do their job. This anti-inflammatory effect works synergistically with the cortisol suppression, both reducing the internal hostile environment that prevents stem cell activation. Let me ground all of this in specific research for you. A randomized double-blind placebo-controlled trial from the Indian Journal of Psychological Medicine enrolled 64 adults with chronic stress. Participants taking 300 milligrams of high-concentration ashwagandha root extract twice daily for 60 days showed a 27.9% reduction in serum cortisol compared to placebo. This was measured via cortisol assay, not self-reported, direct biological measurement. Study 2. Researchers at the National Brain Research Center in India examined the effect of Withania on neurons in mice with damaged nervous systems. The compound not only promoted regrowth of axons and dendrites, the communication branches of nerve cells, but also stimulated the activity of neuroprogenitor cells. For context, neuroprogenitor cells are your brain's version of stem cells. This was the first time a natural compound showed this specific neurogenic action in a controlled in vivo setting. Study 3. A 2019 double-blind randomized trial from the Journal of the International Society of Sports Nutrition measured the effect of 600 milligrams per day of KSM-66 ashwagandha extract on muscle recovery and anabolic hormones in 40 healthy adults over 8 weeks. The result? Participants showed a 15.2% greater increase in testosterone, significantly faster muscle recovery measured via creatine kinase levels, and measurable improvements in VO2 max. The stem cell connection here is clear. Faster recovery is a direct downstream effect of activated satellite cells, muscle stem cells doing their job. Study 4. A study published in Medicine enrolled 58 participants with non-restorative sleep. Those taking ashwagandha root extract showed a 72% improvement in sleep quality scores and a significant reduction in morning cortisol, meaning the nighttime cortisol suppression was carrying into the following day's hormonal environment. This matters enormously because deep sleep is when the majority of stem cell repair activity takes place. Better sleep means more repair time. Here is exactly how to take ashwagandha for maximum stem cell and cortisol benefit. First, choose the right form. This is non-negotiable. Not all ashwagandha is equal. The two clinically validated extract forms are KSM-66 and Sensoril. KSM-66 uses only the root and is standardized to at least 5% with analytes. It's the most studied for testosterone, cortisol, and physical performance. Sensoril uses root and leaf and is better studied for cognitive function and sleep. If your primary goal is cortisol reduction and stem cell regeneration, KSM-66 is your starting point. Avoid generic ashwagandha powder with no standardization percentage listed. You simply don't know what you're getting. Dose: 300 to 600 milligrams per day. The clinical sweet spot across most trials is 300 milligrams twice daily, once in the morning with food, once at night before bed. If you're just starting, begin with 300 milligrams once daily for the first 2 weeks to assess tolerance. Take it with fat with analytes. Are fat-soluble compounds. Taking ashwagandha with a meal that includes healthy fats, avocado, olive oil, nuts, meaningfully improves absorption. Do not take it on an empty stomach. The night dose matters most. The most impactful dose for stem cell regeneration is the nighttime one. Your body does the majority of its repair work during deep sleep, and taking ashwagandha 30 to 60 minutes before bed both improves sleep quality and times the cortisol suppression effect for when it's most needed. Stack with these synergistic foods. Blueberries, 1 cup, about 148 grams. Polyphenols support neural stem cell activity. Direct synergy with ashwagandha's brain effects. Turmeric with black pepper. Curcumin further suppresses NF-kappa B. The black pepper increases curcumin absorption by 2000%. Pumpkin seeds, 30 grams daily. Richest plant source of zinc, which is a critical cofactor for testosterone production and stem cell signaling. Fatty fish or flaxseed. Omega-3 seconds support the anti-inflammatory stem cell microenvironment. Dark chocolate, minimum 70% cacao, about 30 grams. Magnesium content supports cortisol regulation overnight. Cycle it. 8 weeks on, 2 to 4 weeks off. This is not optional. Adaptogens like ashwagandha work through hormonal feedback systems, and running them continuously can blunt that feedback over time. Cycling maintains sensitivity. After years of working with patients on cortisol-related health issues, here are the clinical pearls I found most people miss. Tip 1. Test, don't guess. Before starting, ask your doctor to measure your morning cortisol with a simple blood test. 4 to 6 weeks into the protocol, test again. If cortisol is dropping measurably, have biological confirmation the protocol is working, not just a feeling. Tip 2. Pair with cold exposure. A 2 to 3 minute cold shower in the morning creates a rapid cortisol spike. But this type of acute hormonal response actually trains the HPA axis to recover faster. Combined with ashwagandha's HPA modulation in the evening, this morning-evening contrast has a regulating effect on your entire cortisol rhythm. Tip 3. Magnesium amplifies everything. Magnesium deficiency, present in an estimated 60 to 70% of adults, directly impairs cortisol regulation and disrupts sleep architecture. Taking 200 to 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate at night alongside your ashwagandha dose removes a major obstacle to the herbs. Sleep and cortisol effects. Now I want to talk about the 3 mistakes I see most often, because they explain why so many people try ashwagandha for a few weeks, feel nothing, and give up. Mistake 1. Buying unstandardized powder. Most of what's sold in grocery stores and low-cost supplement aisles is raw ashwagandha powder with no withanolide standardization. The active compounds are present but in wildly inconsistent concentrations. You might be getting 0.5% withanolides or 8%. You have no way of knowing the fix. Look for KSM66 or Sensoril on the label. Look for the phrase standardized to a specific percentage of withanolides. If neither of those things is on the label, put it back. Mistake 2. Taking it only in the morning. Most people take supplements in the morning because that's when they take everything else. But ashwagandha's most important effects, cortisol regulation and sleep quality improvement, are maximized by the nighttime dose, the fix. Split your dose. Take half with your morning meal. Take the other half 30 to 60 minutes before you sleep. Mistake 3. Expecting 2 weeks to show results. This is the most common reason people quit. They try it for 10 to 14 days, feel no different, and conclude it doesn't work. Here's the reality. You are trying to reverse a hormonal pattern that may have taken years to develop. Cortisol-driven stem cell suppression is a slow process. Reversing it is also a slow process. The clinical trials that showed the most dramatic results ran for 60 to 90 days. The fix. Commit to 8 weeks minimum before making any judgment, and during those 8 weeks, track objective markers, sleep quality, recovery speed, energy consistency, not just, do I feel less stressed today? I want to close with something important. The idea that your body's capacity to repair itself declines with age is true, but it is not the whole truth. A significant portion of what we attribute to biological aging is actually the cumulative effect of years of elevated cortisol, dismantling a repair system that is still very much capable of functioning. Your stem cells are not dead. Your neurogenic capacity has not disappeared. Your hormonal systems have not forgotten how to balance themselves. They have been suppressed by a signal, a measurable, reversible hormonal signal. The people who maintain cognitive sharpness, physical resilience, and immune strength into their 60 seconds, 70 seconds, and beyond are not biologically exceptional. They are not just lucky, they have deliberately or instinctively built habits that keep that repair system active. These systems exist in you right now, and an ancient root confirmed by modern science may be one of the most powerful and accessible tools available to wake them back up. You can start today. Let me bring everything together so you walk away with a clear picture. What we covered today. First, chronic cortisol elevation, not acute stress, directly suppresses stem cell proliferation in the bone marrow, brain, and gut. This is measurable biological suppression, not a feeling. Second, ashwagandha, specifically its active compound. Withanolide A operates through 4 simultaneous pathways: direct neural stem cell activation, HPA axis modulation to reduce cortisol, testosterone and growth hormone restoration to reactivate muscle stem cells, and NF-kappa B suppression to clear the inflammatory environment around those cells. Third, research confirms a 27.9% measurable reduction in serum cortisol in 60 days. Neural progenitor cell growth triggered by withanolide A in controlled studies. A 15.2% testosterone increase and measurable VO2 max improvement over 8 weeks, and a 72% improvement in sleep quality. The window when stem cell repair is most active. Fourth, your protocol. KSM66 or Sensoril form only, 300 to 600 milligrams daily, split morning and night, always with fat, stack with blueberries, turmeric, zinc from pumpkin seeds, and magnesium glycinate at night. Cycle 8 weeks on, 2 to 4 weeks off. Fifth, avoid standardized powders. Take the nighttime dose seriously and give it 8 to 12 weeks before you judge. Your health is not predetermined by your genetics or your age. It is shaped daily by what you give your biology to work with. You have far more control than you've been led to believe. If this video gave you something valuable, please subscribe and give it a like. It takes just a moment and it helps this channel reach more people who are looking for real science-based answers about their health. I'll see you in the next one. Dr. Meilin out.